one in a couple of days. This is the sequel to a classic Spielberg movie. The first sequel of three, Jaws 2. Yeah, the first sequel. This one's about an hour and 57 minutes. It's shorter than the first one by a couple minutes. So let's get started. I've been wanting to do this since October, but October went by so fast and November is almost over too. So my Thanksgiving was hit and miss. I'll just say that. My Black Friday was okay. It was a lot better. At least this one, they kept it in the water. Just like the first one. All three of them in the water. Just that the third one's in SeaWorld and the fourth one makes no freaking sense. But we'll get to that one next week. Lorraine Gary, yeah. She's still alive. She hasn't acted in years, but... I think this is underrated. It's not as good as the first one, but it's still way better than the fourth one. Jaws 2. I didn't even see this one as a kid. I only saw the first one and the third one. This was always the sequel I missed, just like Rocky 2 when I was a kid. It's basically a slasher movie in the water, with Jaws attacking young kids, teens. It's not horrible. I just think, yeah, it's not... It doesn't hold a candle to the original, but what does anymore, you know? Halloween 2 wasn't better than the original, but it's still competent. Not every sequel can be The Empire Strikes Back, you know? Or Return of the Jedi. This underwater scene, at least it's different than the original. It's not another girl getting attacked in the water. That doesn't happen until later in the film. Orca. This is there's a scene with a dead whale, aka an orca. The music is still banging in this movie. There's Jaws. And yes, you see the shark a lot sooner in this movie, because it's got a faster pace than the first one. The first one, it takes a long time for you to see the shark. This one is like, no, we know what you want to see. Shark attacks. You don't want to sit there and wait for an hour. So here's the shark's teeth. And the water is scary. I don't know how some people swim in the ocean or in the sea unprotected. I would never do that. Life is too dangerous already on the land. Imagine in the water where there's no safety there. John Williams, yeah, they used his score from the first one. That's Roy Scheider. Rest in peace, sir. I know he did this for the money because he didn't want to do a sequel. He's the one of only 2 actors that came back. Or 3, because, you know, Richard Dreyfuss said no. He was doing something else. I think Close Encounters. And Quint died in the first one, so he wasn't going to come back. Yeah. Also, the director of this movie also passed away. I think earlier this year. Yeah. Jeanette Swart, rest in peace as well. He also directed Supergirl, the 1984 film, not the TV show or the new one that's coming out next year. I'm looking forward to that movie because Supergirl's my favorite DC superhero. You know, female. Let's be clear, female, because my favorite is Batman always for DC, but that's only because I grew up with him, and he's the most badass of all the DC heroes or anti-heroes. This film is still competently shot. It's got great atmosphere still, just like the first one. It's different. It's not a carbon copy of the first one. The way he dies is different. The setting is a little different. Holiday in Amity Shores. There's the mayor from the first film. It's only like 3 actors that came back because the kids are played by different actors this time. Because that's a different kid than the first one. His hair looks different. Yeah, it was gonna be different because Spielberg didn't want to come back. Spielberg doesn't like doing sequels usually to a lot of his work. He didn't like doing a sequel to Jurassic Park or Jaws. He didn't want one for Jaws, and he also even for Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom is a prequel, but he didn't like working on that one. He liked Last Crusade, but after that, he didn't like doing a lot of sequels. I don't hate this movie. I never did. It's the 4th one that I can't stand because it's so dumb. She's cute, Miss Amity. She has blonde hair. She gets a scare of her life in this movie, but again, it is a shark movie. I always appreciate the female beauty in any movie, no matter what it is. I saw this first encore on demand on Marathon of Jaws. Yeah, I first saw this I think on cable, or like AMC or something. What's up, dude? Where are you from? New York. Thanks. At least this DVD is not very loud, so because sometimes the DVDs are louder than that I can handle. Stupid spam. Don't worry, next week I'm gonna do one of my podcasts on a computer, so I don't get spam. I'm sick of these weirdos showing to my podcast. In 2026, I'm not gonna handle it. I'm gonna do more computer things on my computer, or just shut the chat off completely. For like a month. These are our characters, guys. Yeah, a bunch of white people. Again, they didn't put the diversity thing until 3 and 4, because 3 was in the 80s, so they put Louis Gossett Jr. And then 4 has Mario Van Peebles doing this terrible accent. And that's the only one that takes place during Christmas. Yikes. Nerd. This guy looks just like Matt Bennett. Robbie from Victorious. If you took Robbie and put him in a 70s film, it looks just like him. Because this was in the 70s too, just like the first one. Late 70s, but still. Hey, nerds, we have our kingdom. It's called Comic Con. At least the nerd doesn't die. If this was a Halloween movie or Friday the 13th, he'd probably be the first or second to die. I like the look of the film. At least this director can direct. Whoever directed 4 didn't know what the hell they were doing. I don't even know who directed 4. It's Joseph Sargent. I have no idea who that is. There's the wire that's a foreshadowing at the end of the film. Supergirl knows what he's doing. Yeah, he at least could hold a camera. He's not a hack like Uwe Boll. Dun, dun. See, you see the shark a lot more in this one. Because they said, you know what the shark looks like. We don't have to pretend it's a different shark. It's the same kind of shark, a great white. Except it doesn't look terrible like in 4 where it can stand and roar. Sharks don't have vocal cords. They don't roar. They're not mammals like dogs or lions or cats. We're 12 minutes in. It definitely has a faster pace because the first movie is a classic, but the pacing is very, very slow. Because after the shark attacks the girl in the beginning, it doesn't attack somebody until like halfway through the movie. Because you have to get to know the characters. This is a sequel, so like, you know, these some of these characters. Let's get right to it. That's what a solid or a decent sequel does. You put the no, yeah. You take characters that we liked in the first movie and give them more to do, and you know, put them in different situations, not the same one. That's why Empire Strikes Back worked because they did a total 180 on the first one. They're in a snow planet, and then it ends with a downbeat ending, sort of downbeat ending. Got the girl with the frizzy hair. I think this girl was in an episode of The Incredible Hulk or something. The short haired girl. At least this is not a horrible sequel like Jaws 4 and Speed 2. No, it's not that. Because I don't regret watching this. 4 insults me because you kill off Roy Scheider for no reason because they didn't want to come back. The shark is a joke. The characters are a joke. And it's just dumb. Even Michael Caine couldn't save it. And I'll get to that. You shouldn't say that. That's a line that has not aged well. Yeah, I don't talk like that. That's a line that has not aged well. Like a sparrow. The hell is he talking about? Spider. Because I'm not expecting a sequel to a classic to be better than the original. It's not Exorcist 2 where It just goes completely nuts. Also, this is before the big slasher, movie craze in the 80s and the early 90s. Because it was after this you had Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Child's Play, all this stuff. So it was a formula that worked for a while in the 80s. I had to shave because I had so much facial hair. Nice share, John. Thanks, Spidey. Because that other guy was a nut. I'm from nowhere. That means you're spam. I'm sick of spam. If the chat was monitored by actual people and not algorithms, there wouldn't be any strangers on this chat. Parasailing. It's like flying a kite in the water. I wouldn't do that. No, thank you. You're like a tea bag in the middle of the ocean. Not fly a kite, I'm saying parasailing. Here we go. POV shot. And these movies stood PG until we got to the fourth one, which they made it PG-13. Why? It's not even as violent as the first one. Like I said, it's got a much faster pace. It doesn't need to wait an hour for something to happen. Because good sequels or even decent sequels, they don't need to pad the running time. This one could have been longer than the original. It's not. Damn it, I was this close. There's a shark. This girl's not so lucky. Just when you think it was safe to get back in the water. That was the tagline for this movie. Kisses. An old lady. She's cute. There's the shark. It's right behind her. The ocean is just not safe. No podcast next Saturday because I got to go out. So, yep, it knocked her out. This was in the trailer. Our first victim is another girl, but this time it's about 20 minutes into the movie. So it's not the first 5 minutes. Plus, she wasn't like swimming naked. She was just gliding on the water, and then bam, dead. You'd see, you won't be caught me doing that in the ocean. I won't even do that in a kiddie pool, in a swimming pool. She's gone. There's the shark. Yep, it attacks the wife. The first one, it didn't attack her. I think the shark looks fine. For the 70s, after the original, yeah, this when the wife burns it, Jaws' face. How did she survive that? I don't know. That was a big explosion. Yeah. Amityville Police. Mm-hmm. And then next, a shark attack. I miss you, Roy, so much. Yeah, the waters could be really dull if you're not fishing or scuba diving. the music is still pretty awesome in this movie, just like the first one. My eyes are kind of dry. Again, the foreshadowing. Yeah, smoking is bad. I don't do it. Is the best composer. Yeah, he is the best musical composer in film history because his music, it solidified my entire life. Whether it be my kid when I was a kid, when I saw Star Wars or Indiana Jones or Jaws or whatever or E.T., and then as an adult with Harry Potter and the Star Wars prequels. Well, I was a teen and then an adult when the third one came out. I didn't hate the music in The Force Awakens, but it just wasn't the same. I didn't hate the music in the sequel trilogy. The music was not the problem, guys. The music was not the issue in the sequel trilogy. It was the writing, the directing, and the studio interference by Kathleen Kennedy. That's what hurt that trilogy so badly. Because the prequels, nobody said, that score sucked. No, the score was beautiful in all three of them. Well, back to Jaws 2, because we're not talking about Star Wars here. I'm not doing a podcast for Star Wars for a long, long time until Mando and Grogu comes out. If it's worth watching, because I just don't trust Disney. I don't trust them. There's the dead orca. It's a good practical effect. It's a small orca too. Poor killer whale. And orcas are actually dolphins, not they're not fish and they're not whales officially. It ate its whole face. They're measuring the poor whale or killer whale, they called it. I didn't know it was a dolphin because when I was a kid and I saw Free Willy, I thought it was a whale, but it's not technically. It's like a porpoise. It's not a whale either. We know. We saw the first one. I love that movie to death. It's a Jaws movie. Yeah, orcas orcas are not. They're not fish. Dolphins are not fish. Porpoises are not fish. Seals are not fish either, or sea lions, or walruses. There's a lot of animals that live in the water that are not fish. That's why. This is why whales have to shoot, or dolphins have to shoot the blowhole out of their head so they can get air when they come in the out of the water. No, they didn't. Oh, that killer whale movie was called Orca. It was a ripoff of Jaws because after the first one came out, he had Orca, Piranha, and a bunch of others, and he had Alligator in the 80s. That's not to the fourth movie where the shark is psychically linked to the Brody family and it follows them. Animals don't follow you from one place to another. Like a dog could follow you in the house or outside in the backyard, but a dog is not going to trace you all the way from another country or another state or an island. That's not how animals work. They go by scent, not by psychic link. Finding Nemo has sharks. Yeah, it does. Finding Dory had whales, a beluga whale, and a whale shark, I believe. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Brody doesn't joke around in this one. Really? You have a lot of deaths in these waters? Yeah, you can't hide the death, guys. Missing gold or something, you can, but you can't hide. Hmm. Oh, I will. Hmm. Yeah, the ocean looks peaceful, but it's not. We're 35 minutes in. It's a really nice shot. The water, yeah, they said the water's your friend. No, it's not. Man wasn't meant to be in the water. Mhm. The ocean is unpredictable. That scene was so terrifying, yeah. There's the dead body, yep. The first dead body. Mm-hmm. Sodium cyanide. What they put in cigarettes, man. That's why people die, because cigarettes have cyanide in it, and it will kill you. I'm not going to put that in my body. No way. It's like ingesting rat poison. Ugh. Wax from a candle. They're playing Pong, because this is the 70s, guys, and I mentioned that because the NES didn't come out until the fourth movie came out, that terrible video game. Pong. This is what video games were 50 years ago. About 50 years ago was when Pong came out. Now we got PS5s, the Switch 2, and the Xbox One, and of course PC gaming. I don't usually PC game because I don't like using a computer keys. I like using uh, a controller or like a joystick or something. It's just my preference. Pong, not pawn, Pong, Pong, Pong. Hold on. Hold on. Leave this right here. I gotta go get my tissue box. I'm still here, guys. I'm just get my tissues. Yeah, Michael's always played by a different actor. Okay, back to my face. Acrobat. This sounds like the music from the Ewoks in Return of the Jedi. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Yep, butt shots. That's for the men in the audience. Yeah, it sounds like that. This was a couple years before Return of the Jedi came out. This is when, like The Empire Strikes Back was in probably pre-production. I forgot what year Jaws 2 came out. I think it was 77 or 78. Right, it was the late 70s. Again, I wasn't there, so I wouldn't know. I know 3 is 83 and then 4 is 87. And after that, we didn't get a shark movie until the 90s. We had like Deep Blue Sea, which I'll get to that one eventually. Yep, he's on the crow's nest, in a way. It's freezing today. It's in the 30s. Next week, I'm just gonna go see Santa, so I won't be here. 78, yeah. So when Superman came out, and 2 years before Empire Strikes Back. Because in the 70s, cinema was changing. They took more risk and they got more violent, and a new rating system happened in the 80s with the PG-13 rating. I love roller coasters because they're not in the water, usually. They're strapped in, and they're either metal or wood. He panics and rings a bell, of course, because you got to do that to get people's attention.
We're 46 minutes in, so we're about a third of the way through the movie. It's got a better pacing. It's not as slow. The shark already attacked like 3 or 4 people and an orca, so. Uh oh. See, he panics. He's not a lifeguard. That's the thing. Where are the lifeguards? You would think that this Amity beach would have lifeguards, like every beach. Well, most beaches. See, a panic. Bluefish. Of course it is. They saw there was one black person in the background. Again, this was the 70s, so this was a different time, guys. If this was remade, Brody would be a black or an Asian man. But Sumo does have a point that a lot of these white actors cost studios millions of dollars, and yet Asians don't, because Asians usually make good cinema. That's why they have their own cinema, where their animes make millions of dollars because they connect with people. Yeah, Demon Slayer, that kid came out a few months ago. That made more than half of the animated movies Disney did this year. Yeah. It made more than Elio, and it's probably going to make more than Zootopia 2, which is doing okay. But again, too little, too late, Disney. Too little, too late. You got to make good movies throughout the entire year. If you have a dud, at least fess up to it and say, yes, we screwed up. Don't make garbage remakes and sequels and original Pixar movies that nobody wants to see. Queer baiting. No, I don't do that. You know my channel. I keep affiliations out completely. The Demon Slayer, the Infinity Castle. Not because there were other movies before that, but Infinity Castle made a lot of money, and I'm like, yeah, because it's an anime. It's an anime that people is very popular. That One Piece and My Hero Academia. These are animes that connected with people during the pandemic, especially because Asian cinema kept going. It didn't stop. It didn't halt production for decades like other studios. There it is. Yep. It's developing the pictures. We don't have to do that anymore with digital cameras and cameras on our phone. We could literally take a shot in 2 seconds and it'll show up, and we could save it on an iCloud as well. There's the eye. Yep, there it is. The Jaws eye. It's it's happening, and this is an underrated sequel, just like Die Hard 2, where like people didn't consider it a classic like the first one. I enjoy it like the first one. I don't hate it. I know when I hate a sequel. Yeah, of course they don't see it. There were no digital cameras back then. If you take a picture of a shark with a camera, which I'm gonna do hopefully when I go to SeaWorld next year, yeah, I know what they look like. This Die Hard Escape from LA, the Escape from LA, Teenage Ninja Turtle Secret to use underrated sequels. Yeah, exactly. He blew it up again. Yes, I know, Roy. How could a man go through the same thing twice? Well, sequels. A shark is nothing to make light of. There's the young people again. We're almost an hour in. Good is killing plenty of time. She's cute. She's the petite one that has that boyish haircut. That she looks like Anakin. She looks like Anakin Skywalker when he's a kid. Like if Anakin was a girl, there you go. Young Anakin Skywalker when he's a kid. It's almost the same haircut, except it's a girl, not a boy. Jack Daniels. Oof. We're almost an hour in. This is why the sequels after this they cut a lot of the filler and they went right to like 90 minutes, which is good because less of a running time means less to sit through. Because the first one is a long movie, guys. It's pretty long for a 70s film. Me neither. I've always quit a job before I got fired because I just can't deal with certain things. Or the job is over. Take these socks off because I gotta take a shower later.
Banaka. Did you know Dante? He almost directed Jaws 3 people. Is that Boone? Yeah. I think so. I think I heard that. I still got those mosquito bites on my leg. Joe Alvis directed Jaws 3. The 1990 Ninja Turtles movie is a classic. I went to see it a few months ago in the theater for the first time. It still holds up. The Garth Showcase movie just got a 4K ultra wide. Yeah, yeah. I heard that it got a special edition. A lot of terrible movies get special editions on Blu-ray or 4K for some reason. Trolls 2 got a 4K as well. Weird. Back to the calm scenes. Michael Mann, he does some decent movies. Some of them are too long, but you know how it is. Manhunter is a pretty good. Yeah, I heard Manhunter. That's a prequel to Silence of the Lambs. People don't know that it's the original. Divers. Well, I'm almost done with the movie. Yeah, I always pick a long movie every Saturday. Well, not next Saturday because I'm not doing a podcast next Saturday because I gotta be out. So no podcast. Maybe a review or something.
Diving. The ocean looks beautiful, but it's not safe. No, I haven't been diving. There's Jaws with his burnt face. John Carpenter wish he should have done a creature feature from the Black Lagoon, not remake. No, we don't need a remake. That movie is fine the way it is. You know, it never needs to be remade. There's a shark fin again. Did I watch Epitastic Josh's videos? Not recently. I have to wait till December because I'm doing my own video right now. And nothing happened. Wow, that's subverted your expectation. You think another attack will happen, and no, not till later in the film. Because some of the teens do get attacked underwater. The teens are fine in the movie. They're not annoying. Like, there's characters that are annoying in 4. Yeah. Five Nights at Freddy's 2, I could wait. I don't usually watch horror movies in the theater in December. I haven't done that in years. Mainly because horror usually I associate with like October, sometimes September, but December not so much. I'm just doing this because I didn't do the Jaws sequels for Halloween. I only did the first one. Beer cans. Yep, he dies. This curly haired guy because you're dumb. Yep, product placement right in their hand. There he is. And by the way, sharks don't do that. They don't charge at boats because they're not whales or even if you're in their territory, they don't charge because they're not like missiles or something like that. Eddie is nuked. This traumatized her for the rest of the film. Goodbye, Eddie. Yeah, Miss Amity just gets the scare of her life. Again, Eddie should have had a picnic on the on the land, not in the water. No, the shark is not roaring. This poor guy. This is where the roles are reversed. The man dies, not the woman. See, like in the first one, woo, yeah. Oh, Eddie, you're that his head is cracked open. Again, these things are scary. People think the sharks are are friendly. No, they're not. Dolphins could be friendly, but even then, you have to be careful with creatures in the water. Yeah, what would scare you down there? There's so many creatures in the water that can kill you, not just sharks. I know the reaction. Yeah, when it involves your kids, you do whatever it takes. I don't have a kid, but I have a niece, and next year I will hang out with her because it's not fair that I didn't get to see my niece. I barely got to see her because the parents are too overprotective. You can't kiss her. You can't pat her on the head. Yeah, watch me break the rules next year in 2026. I rules were meant to be broken, especially with someone like me. The young people get attacked and stalked by the shark, and there's nothing played for laughs here. Yeah. We're at 80 minutes in, so we're almost in the third act. It's a long movie, but it's not as long as the original. At least it's under 2 hours. Movies nowadays are way longer than this. Teen survived except the girl got eaten by the shark. Yeah, because Wicked Part for Good is a sequel, and it's way longer than this. It's like 2 hours and 17 minutes. That's way too long. I mean, the first one was too long. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. It's a lot of dust and dandruff in here. I gotta clean this room later. A little. That poor Miss Amity, all she wanted to do was go sailing, and look what happened. She saw a man die in front of her. That's something you never live up. Look at her, she's pale. She's going into shock. Nothing could make me turn pale like that. I've looked death in the face and told it to go screw itself, especially when COVID got me. It couldn't take me down. See, she can act. That's something that a lot of these blondes now can't do because they can't show emotion on their face. They can't, be expressive. Look at this girl in Thunderbolts. She's a zombie. I swear, even when she shows emotion, it feels so forced. It doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel like it feels tagged on. I don't know what's up with directors today. They can't direct actors anymore. AI is directing them now. I want human reaction so I could, be invested, like Superman. People call that movie a failure. No, it wasn't a failure. Screw you. You know why? That movie made $600 million, and I cried 4 times when I watched it at home. 4, because I had an investment emotionally. So it hit bullseyes for me. James Gunn's writing made me feel something. No matter, yeah, there's the Robbie looking guy. That accent is terrible. Yeah, when Superman ended, well, it wasn't the ending that made me cry. It was like right before the ending when him and Lois fly and kiss. It's just really emotional for me. I love those characters so much, so it meant the world to me. There's Jaws again. Oh no, Robbie, not Robbie. I can get up because I have to take a shower soon after this. Yeah, I guess the scare of his life. You know. I don't have any sweatshirts. I'm gonna have to go get one in the basement later. Only have hoodies. Never do I think that this shark looks fake. Remember, there was no CGI in the '70s, guys. Remember that. There were computers, but no CGI. Which is, I prefer a practical shark over a bad CGI effect. I really do, most of the time. See, this is when the chaos ensues. This is like the scene in Piranha 3D when all those people get attacked by the piranhas. It's awesome because it really good practical effects. And way better than Sharknado. Yeah, that shark looked terrible. That was a PG-13 shark movie, and it has barely any blood in it. And this is a PG movie when PG mattered, when PG meant, parents had to guide their kids to see what they can handle and what they can't. Did it? Yep. Mike is always the lucky one. He's always the one that never dies. Come on, Jaws. They should pay for what they did. That's a good effect. When the mouth goes right in front of the camera, that is a good effect. I will defend that effect till I die because it looks way better than CGI cartoons in some movies today. Because now when they use sharks, they use CGI sharks. They did that in Sharknado and Shark Night and what was it, the Meg movies. But at least the Meg looks good. The effects look finished. Yeah, no kidding. Mike is one of the luckiest characters to survive. Yeah, he doesn't die. Even in the fourth movie, he doesn't die. It's like Michael Myers. He dies and it comes back. They blow him up. They do everything to him, and his essence just goes on and on. See, they're not playing around now. Pick me on. Yeah, we're almost in the third act where Brody has to save him. All of them. I would have enjoyed this as a kid because it's not as slow as the original. It's got a faster pacing. The lighthouse. Mm-hmm. If I ever go in the water, I'll go on a big boat, like a sailboat, or one of those cruise liners, like the Disney Cruise Line. I'm not gonna go into a rowboat in the middle of the ocean. I'm not stupid. The water always wins. Remember that, guys. Humans belong on the land, not in the water. That's why so many people drown or get hit by a boat or something, or get eaten because they don't listen. The water was meant for fish and certain mammals, not humans. Garbage. The Atlantic Ocean. I'd rather fly over the ocean than be in it. No wonder the aliens and signs hate water so much. Yeah, because it burns their skin. There's a helicopter and it gets attacked too. They're cheering, but I'm like, guys, the movie's not over yet. There's still 20 minutes left. This isn't like Predator where it's like, get to the chopper. Yeah. Nope. This Harbor Patrol is done. Excuse me. Stupid man. You're an idiot. You should have just. They should have. He should have rescued them and taken them off of that. There wasn't enough space for all of them, but he could have taken a couple of them. Yay! We're gonna get out. No, you're not. Not yet. This guy tried, but this shark is smarter than he thinks. There it is. the money shot. The shark is dragging the helicopter. He brought that helicopter down like it was a toy. Yep, the shark is still out there. They were celebrating too soon. This is when the all hell breaks loose. Yeah, it gets one of them. See, another person dies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, she's take charge in this one. It's too bad this doesn't carry over to the fourth movie because she's like bipolar or something. That's also a good shot. Love, 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 man. They got the radio this time, unlike in the first one when Quint destroys it because he's an idiot. Sean can't move. He just saw somebody die, and he's a kid. He's awake. He's just he can't move. He's terrified. You'll break his what?
Yep, they got him. Yeah, they wish they were on land, don't they? That poor little boy, man. And she's shaking. He does look like Robbie. I call him Robbie because he looks just like him, except with sideburns and a different hat. I can't see it. Somebody. Sorry, Mary can't hear you. So they're in one boat. A quiet moment. When there's a few quiet moments in the movie, all the screaming and yelling. Sean is a little kid, you know? This guy looks like one of the Beatles. The guy in the front. And this guy looks like Zac Efron. It's weird. Yeah, with darker hair. Yeah, he looks like Ringo Starr. It's almost done. A lot of tension. Yay! But the movie's not over yet. We still got about 10 minutes left in the film. Yeah, I know. And there's the shark again. I still like the effects in this one. The effects don't start showing their age until the third movie. Because there's a shot in the movie that's so laughable, but it's at the very end of the film. The rest of the film, the effects are hit and miss, but four, it's just completely laughable. The shark looks like a toy. Doesn't even look like a real shark. It's a toy, a giant mechanical toy. Oh wait, once a Yep. See, there's the wire. The foreshadowing of the beginning of the film. That giant cable. That surprise. Swim to shore, guys. Swim to shore. This girl got the scare of her life. Because the blonde girl, Miss Amity, she disappears for the rest of the film. Yep. Swim to that rock. You're safer on a rock than you are in the water. No, it barely grazed me. Well, she got hurt, but it speared her. No! Like I said, this is not a short movie. It's pretty long, but Not as long as the original. There's the wire. Mm-hmm. They're saving grace in the movie, if you will. A giant wire. Mm-hmm. High voltage. Keep out. You know what that means? Electricity beats water. That's a really awesome stunt, by the way. There's not a lot of stunts in the movie compared to the first one, but this one. See, they're staying on the ground. So the shark. Good thing the shark can't walk like in Peter Benchley's Creature. That's a shark that can walk. Up close. If sharks did this, people would never sail again. They don't charge at you like that. They don't do that. Like they don't charge boats because it would get hurt. You know how strong boats are now. If a shark hit the Disney Cruise Line, it would break its head because it's so big. You know. You ever heard of that thing sinking like the Titanic? No, because it's Disney. They don't make their boats out of cheap material. If there's a cruise liner. An hour and 50 minutes in. See, it's pretty long. Because usually when movies are this long, they pad it out. They, like put a song in there or a dance number that's too long, or they have subplots that go nowhere. Movies can't be 90 minutes anymore. They have to be over an hour and 40, an hour and 50, or 2 hours long, or 3 hours in the case of Avatar Fire and Ash. Why is that over 3 hours? Because James Cameron can't make a short movie anymore. That's why. He gave up after Terminator. Every movie he made after that was way too long. Even his classics like Aliens, 2.5 hours. Abyss is almost 3 hours, the original cut. True Lies, over 2.5 hours. Titanic is 3 hours. Yeah, too long, Cameron. I'm not gonna live to be 1,000. Make your movies shorter. I don't need Avatar 5 to be 5 hours long. People have lives to go back to. Let me take the disc out because I have to take the disc out soon. Yeah, come on. I love this. Say ah. Say ah. I love that. That is the best line in the movie. It's not as good as the first one when he blows it up with the gun. This is epic. Yeah. Say ah. that's so awesome. Yeah. The thing blows up. It gets electrocuted. It's a good clothesline. It's an awesome line, yeah. Mm-hmm. And the shark is dead, yeah. At least in 3, they tried something different, so it's not the same movie. Yep. Human 1, 2, shark 0. There's no way it survived that. Electrocution, yeah. High voltage electrocution, yeah. The odds of surviving that are 1 in a million, guys. I've never gotten electrocuted like that. I've gotten electrocuted, but not like that. Bye, Jaws 2. People still had to die, though. Again, they would...
Yeah, the rock is it's better to be on a rock than in water. And it ends. See, the movie doesn't have a sequel bait ending. It just ends. I'm glad I still have these movies because it's a cute kid. He's probably like in his 50s now because this was 1978. It's a good sequel. I like it. It's a decent sequel. That was Jaws 2, guys. It's not a classic like the first one, but I wasn't looking for that. I wanted something entertaining, and it's entertaining enough. Yeah, Joe Alvis, he was a second unit director here. He does the third movie. Does everything have to be a classic? No, it just has to be entertaining. It shouldn't insult the original because it's not like The Last Jedi where, oh, everything you remember in The Force Awakens, yeah, it's retconned. Luke throwing the lightsaber was the sign of bad things to come. There's nothing like that in this movie. Subverting expectations doesn't have to be insulting your audience. That's why I didn't see The Last Jedi in the theater. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Acknowledge me, and tomorrow I'll be doing Jaws 3, the B movie Jaws in SeaWorld. I want to go to SeaWorld next year. So I'll see you guys then. Later.